Okay, this is my 2019 Suzuki DRZ400, and today we're going to put this thing back to stock because I am going to sell this thing. Now, I bought this thing 2 or 3 years ago to go on the Smoky Mountain 500. The first year, my dad broke his ankle the first day, and then we tried it again last year. We did complete the Smoky Mountain 500 last year, and then we did it again this year, but this year I did it on my cheapest 450 dirt bike on Marketplace, which is my WR450 Yamaha. Now, the DRZ400 is a great machine. They freaking ran them from what, 2000 all the way till just recently, 2024. So a huge production run of these things, and they pretty much are all the same. There's a couple little different sub models, the DRZS, DRZE, DRZSM. But anyways, these are good bikes, but the time has come for me to sell this thing. You can see it's been sitting. That's why I got the side panel off here to charge the battery. And the reason I'm selling it, although this is a good machine, it does not do anything good. It is overweight. I wouldn't say it's underpowered, but it doesn't have a whole lot of power. And you know, it's not, let's just be realistic, it's not super sexy. And at this point, I have my WR450, which has more power. It's lighter. I would say that the aftermarket, stuff for my WR450, the aftermarket support is not as good. There's a ton of aftermarket support for these, but I'm willing to sacrifice that because I don't want to modify my other machine anymore. With that being said, I need to take off my modifications so I can sell this. Now, what I did do to this thing is I did put tires on it. Those are going to stay. I put these headlights, these little light pods on here. This is just Amazon lights. They work great. And they have like a little wiring harness hooked up to this switch. You can see right there. I do have this aftermarket Cerebus, a Chirby's gas tank. It's an oversized gas tank. And I have this rack system for my bags, which I'm going to sell this rack system and the bags. And this seat here, this is a seat concept seat, and this will make your tushy feel real good because this one right here, the stock one, is rock hard. So I have the stock seat and the stock gas tank. Now this one does have a dent in it, but you really don't notice, to be honest. Now, another thing is I did crash this thing on the trail once, and I think I did bend the radiator a little bit. You can see that this louver is kind of pushed in, so I'll probably have to pull that out, make it look a little better. These plastics are a little scratched up these days. We'll have to see how good we can get them cleaned up. Maybe hit it with some SC1, get this thing looking good. When I bought this machine, this thing was pretty much mint, and I used it, so it's no longer necessarily mint, but it's still in really good shape. And I will say all these aftermarket pieces are kind of ugly. That's, like I said, another reason I'm selling it. Probably leave the phone mount and the little breakaway levers, this little rear view mirror, leave that. Probably leave the phone charger as well. What else? I guess that's about it. So first thing I need to do is probably take this rack system off because this is off. Another thing I need to do is I probably need to clean this carburetor out. Because I think there was fuel in here, and then now there's not, which makes me think that the engine's probably full of fuel, and probably need to clean the carburetor. It's been sitting for, I don't know, probably 6 months, maybe even a year. I don't know, and I don't even know at this point, so. Alright, well, I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. I freaking had to cut off the bolt that was in here. That one right there. I don't know why. It was all freaking... I don't even know where the nut went. Hopefully it went straight to hell, because that thing was just, I don't know, seized on there. It was just spinning. It wasn't backing off. So anyways, this right here and this and all these stupid bolts are our whole rack system. Now I do need to go find some new bolts for this foot peg, and the other one is on the ground here somewhere. I need to go find some new bolts. Okay, got new bolts in here, got new bolts in here, same thing on the other side. Now I do need to take off the tank next, and then after we take the tank off, I do need to take out these bolts under here, underneath the fender here, and then I can take these lights off, get all the wiring out, take this off. So that's what's next. Now why is that one a damn hex Allen head? Matter of fact, this looks like I could probably put this on my WR450. However, I don't know, I didn't really like the way this looked. It looked a little funny. I wish I would have gone with a one light mount. You know, they have one that comes out in the middle, but I'll sell this on the internet. I think I might even have someone from the DRZ400 group that wants to buy, honestly, almost everything. Everyone wants to buy everything, it seems like. All right, move this red wire. So now our complete wiring harness for the light pods is off. Minus, I guess I gotta take off the switch on the handlebars. All right, here's our bent radiator. You can see this whole row right here is just crunched in, which it doesn't leak, so that's good. But this is what it should look like, something like this. A lot straighter, and then this part right here's got just a little bit of angle. So I already pulled off this little shroud louver. I don't know what I'm gonna do here, but I'm gonna try something. Looks like this did pop out a little bit here. Okay, well, I did damage them a little bit, the fins there, but this does look like it popped out some. It's not 100%, but this did come out a little bit because that was all the way crunched in. I think that should look better when we mount the plastics back up. Okay, so I do need to take this carburetor off. I'm not super sure where my screwdriver went, first of all. Here it is. Okay, now I need to take this carburetor off because it is most likely gummed up. Oh wow, why was that loose? Can we just shimmy it out? I don't think so. Usually the best way is to undo the swing arm or the subframe and flip up. But look at all this stuff that's on this subframe. This thing's pretty in depth. Okay, let's see if this subframe has enough slop in it to flip up now a little bit. Oh, something else is definitely holding on. Oh, the exhaust. Great. Should we flip it up now? Oh yeah, there's a little flippy dippy. There we go. Here's the cables. Oh, Lord. All right, here's our carburetor. Let's go check it out on the bench. Oh, gas. Forgot about that. Just put it on our tray here. All right, here's the moment of truth on the carburetor. Oh, wow. Okay, not bad on the bowl. I do see some green crazy stuff here. but I definitely was expecting worse. So I just had to sand the top of the main jet here. And it is a 140, which I think is stock. Oh, I don't think anyone's ever been in this carburetor, maybe. Now, this one is the, I believe this is the starter jet or the choke jet. That one I can see through as well. And then this is the pilot, which is most likely our culprit. Honestly, I didn't even try to start this thing, so this may have been a freaking waste of my time, but I'm selling it, so I don't want all this green crap in the carburetor. Don't want the next person to have a problem. But yes, the pilot is slap plugged. You cannot see the light through it, and I cannot blow through it. And this little wire here will clear pilot jets. Oh look, we just pushed the junk through. Still can't see through it. Now I can see through it. Perfect circle. But since it's got that green junk on it, I am going to put these pieces in the ultrasonic cleaner. I'll probably take out this emulsion tube. I'm not going to do the whole carburetor, I don't think. I think that would be over excessive. I'm going to check the needle though. Actually, I did just notice this thing right here. Yep, see that plug right there? It just came out. There's your air fuel mixture screw in there. This air fuel mixture screw out. Make sure this is clean too. Alright, here's our spring, but we're missing a washer and a O-ring, which I saw the washer. Alright, there went the washer right there. Yep, there's the O-ring right there. Spray some brake clean in there. See how it's coming out the pilot jet hole? That's good news. It also should be coming out of this little tiny hole right there. When we spray in there, let's see. Yep, so those passages are all perfectly clear. All right, I went ahead and just put the carburetor back together. I didn't record it because if every video was a whole entire carburetor video, that would be annoying. So, put the carburetor back together, got all the green parts cleaned up in the ultrasonic cleaner over there. I'll put a link in the description of the exact same one I use, and that thing really works good. I did actually up the main jet a little bit because with the baffle out of the exhaust, it always kind of like did some crazy popping stuff at like high speeds. So I went from a 140 to a 155. So that's minor details. It should be fine. We straightened this out previously, but I think at this point I just need to put it back together. So here's the stock tank. It does have this one little dent in it right here, but honestly, when I bought this thing, I didn't even notice it. So luckily I have the OEM hardware here, and this is the OEM vacuum operated petcock, and we got the OEM fuel on here and everything, so this will be easy just to throw back on. And I'm hoping with some elbow grease and some SC1, I have to go to Cycle Gear, probably get some SC1, I can make these plastics look good, because they are a little scratched up. You know, that's what this thing's for, riding. So let's go ahead and put the tank on and just button this whole thing back up.
Facebook Marketplace sucks. It's a total disgrace. Wasting all my time with this online rat race. I list my dirt bikes, ads as clear as day. 10 minutes later, is it still available, they say.
Man, oh man, I tell you what, this thing looks so much better with all that crazy stuff on it. You know, all the adventure stuff is, you know, purposeful, but this thing looks way better. All stock now. Like I said before, I cleaned the carburetor. Now this thing's got the crazy fuel. Let's see. It's got the crazy, you know, vacuum operated. So this is on. If it's pointed here, that's reserve, which, you know, is when you run out of gas. If you're on, you run out of gas, you flip it to reserve. It gives you a little bit more. Hence why it's called reserve. And this right here, PRI, is prime. So I think that's when it lets the fuel flow out gravity fed. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Let's see. How do I get this damn gas cap off? All right, beautiful gas tank. I just gotta put some ethanol free fuel in it, and we're gonna see if this thing will fire up. All right, here goes the gas. We don't want to give them too much free gas. All right, so before we actually try to start it up, like I said, it's got that vacuum operated crap. So what we can do to make sure we got fuel going to the carburetor, see, we're in the prime position, fuel line is on. I don't have a drain hose on here, so this will make it a little easier to see. But this is your carburetor bowl drain, and you can just, oh yeah, look, we're filled up. Just crack that loose. We got gas, so we're gonna tighten it back up. You don't wanna round that thing out. So this thing should fire right up. It's a good engine, good machine. Let's see what happens. Hello, it's me from the future. And it has become apparent from editing the video, I did a terrible job explaining how this vacuum operated petcock works. Before we get into that, I wanted to tell you that 90% of you guys are not subscribed. So if you guys like my videos, 90% of my viewers are not even subscribed. So what's up with that? Make sure you guys subscribe. I'm trying to hit 5,000. I'm pretty close. And I want you to go ahead and comment down below what you think this DRZ400 is going to sell for. I'm going to post it on Marketplace and Craigslist. Let me know what you think this thing's worth. So back to the petcock. All right, so this is the petcock. Obviously the fuel comes out here, goes here to the carburetor. But what makes it different is this vacuum hose right here. This hooks up to the intake, and this is what creates vacuum, or the engine creates the vacuum, right? And even though we're in the reserve position or the on position, it will not let fuel flow. Now, what does this mean for you? You know, we're at the point in the video where we just cleaned the carburetor, which means the bowl is empty. Well, if you want to just, you know, even though we're in the reserve position or the on position, it's not going to let fuel flow because there's no vacuum. So we would have to crank it over, just to let the fuel, you know, start flowing out of here and fill up the bowl, which is going to take forever. So that's why they have the prime position, and I'm pretty sure that just has gravity feed, and then, you know, the fuel flows in there. Now the main drawback with this is there's no way to, typically if you want to, you know, store your bike, typically you would turn the fuel to the off position and then just let it, you know, let it run until it burned all the fuel out of the carburetor. Well, you can't do that with this. You basically either have to leave it in the reserve or the on position, and you know, drain drain the carburetor bowl manually. And I guess, you know, that's not really that big of a deal in hindsight talking about it, but you know, it is what it is. So anyways, they make a aftermarket decent petcock that's just a regular one, on, reserve, and off. I'll put that in the description. It's only $10. I just put one on my LTZ400, and it's a common upgrade for the DRZs. Okie doke. Let's see. Keys on. Do we try the choke? I guess we try the choke. Let's try the choke. Look at that. I mean, I didn't have any doubts that this thing was not going to start or anything like that. Probably should do an oil change on it too, because I did the Smoky Mountain 500 on this thing. Before we take it outside and get it all wet, let's go ahead and change the oil. The oil filter's in here. Let's see. There we go. There's the drain bolt. I guess I better go get an oil filter. I might as well just go to cycle gear now because we're gonna clean this thing up and I need to get some SC1 to shine this baby up, and I need an oil filter. So I also gonna need an oil filter for the LTZ400 there too. So I guess you'll see me when I get back. All right, our filters look the same. There is an O-ring back there, so that goes in there. And our oil filter did not come with a O-ring, which is fine. But we'll take this back off. Just put it in here in the groove. Make sure the arrow is pointed up. And then just put our 3 nuts back on. This is a good design using the studs like this with the acorn nuts. Most bikes, the bolts go in to the aluminum, and when you have the steel on aluminum going back and forth, and it's this is getting serviced. This is the main thing that gets serviced on the engine. So if you're just running bolts into the aluminum all the time, it's eventually going to strip out, wear out. Luckily they put studs in here, so it's got the steel studs and steel acorn nuts. The acorn nuts make sure that no moisture is getting into the threads, and this is steel on steel, so in theory you should never have any issues stripping anything out. So let's drain the oil out now. Alright, so the internet tells me this machine takes 2 quarts, and luckily that's what I got in this right here. This is what I use in all my machines, Shell Rotella T4. A lot of people run this stuff, and as long as you're not using synthetic inside your wet clutch engine, you should be fine. But I've been using this stuff freaking since I was like 15, maybe even younger than that, in my Honda 300EX. So I'm just gonna dump this in. Oh, okay. Alright, just using some Dawn foaming stuff here. And this is like Dawn and Power, Purple Power, or some sort of degreaser. This is just gonna get it all sudsy. Okay, I got this thing all cleaned up. I sprayed it down with that new bike in a can, and it looks good. Now, the title of this video is going to be something like, I'm selling my DRZ400, and then like maybe the thumbnail is going to say, it sucks. And that's because the DRZ400, to me, sucks. I like dirt bikes. This thing is not high performance. This thing is not light. This thing is not, I mean, it does everything. It doesn't do anything good, right? I mean, it'll go down the highway. It'll go down a trail. But this thing is 330 pounds, 333 pounds. Whereas my WR450 is 253 pounds. That's a 70-pound weight difference, right? That's a lot. 70 pounds. So the other thing is why I'm selling the DRZ400. Although it's got a great engine, it's reliable, it's proven. The bottom line is it is not powerful. I mean, it's got plenty of power to take you down the road. It's only 5-speed. A lot of people complain about it only being 5 gears, 5 speeds. That's the same thing with my WR450. But this, I don't know, the numbers on the internet are all over the place. I think the concrete number is 39 horsepower. Some people are saying 32, some are saying 35. But everyone's trying to say this thing's got 39 horsepower. Well, the WR450, right, in 2004, they're claiming that this makes 54 horsepower. So a whole entire 15 horsepower more than the DRZ400, and it's 70 pounds lighter. So, like I said, once I picked that up, and honestly, when I bought the DRZ400, I really wasn't in love with the platform. You know, I really wanted maybe like a CR450X, or maybe like a KTM 450 or 500, 525, you know, something along those lines. But nothing was popping up, and I figured I'd give the DRZ400 a try. And, you know, it is a tried and true platform. Tons of aftermarket accessories available for it. And I did enjoy it, you know, but I want more performance. I want a lighter bike. You know, when you're riding on some crazy terrain, you know, in the backwoods, you know, 70 pounds lighter that's insane. So this definitely does not get as good as fuel mileage. I do also have a jetting problem. I need to jet this carburetor a little bit better. You can see right here on my exhaust plate, it's kind of black, but that's besides the point. So that's why I'm selling my DRZ400. Let me know down in the comments what your experience is with the DRZ400. If you like it, you love it. If I'm wrong, let me know what you think it's going to sell for. I'm going to list it for $5,500. And honestly, today's market is pretty slim. You know, things are not moving from what I can tell. My neighbor down the street actually has this exact same bike to the T. I'll even put his little listing right here if I can find it. I think he's asking $5,500 for his, and his does have an exhaust, but I think I paid $5,000 for it. So I posted for $55,000. You know, the assholes on Marketplace are gonna freaking just attack me, hit me at like $3,500, you know, $2,500. I'll let this bike go for $4,500. I think that's probably what it's worth. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think. DRZ400 has been a great machine for me, but I'm going to move on to the WR450. Now, the WR450 doesn't have as many aftermarket parts for it. This is a 21-year-old machine now, right? But it does share a lot of parts with the YZ450 of that same era, which they did make a ton of. But really, I don't need to do anything aftermarket to this thing. Maybe I'll put some different wheels. I'm pretty sure you can still get like Tusk wheels or your Mosi, you know, wheels. Wheels are pretty universal. But they did make a lot of these, and like I said, the YZ450 is, you know, shares a lot of parts with this. There's tons of used parts still out there for these things, so I'm just going to keep on rocking and rolling with the WR450. I do want to do a little refresh on this thing. As you can see, the tank graphics are pretty rough. Some retard put a white front fender and a white rear fender. Also, when we went on the Smoky Mountain 500, I had a little saddlebag setup going on here, and it was pushing up against the exhaust and burnt a hole through the freaking number plate. So I think I want to do something different with the exhaust, but like I said, the aftermarket selection for these is pretty narrow these days, but I think I can probably just, I think I can probably just cut this off and put some more pipe in there, put my own muffler of some sort in here. Now this muffler is stainless steel and it's not serviceable. It doesn't have any muffler packing in there from what I can tell. So I think that is one reason why it got so hot. You know, this is stainless steel and there's no muffler packing in here to, you know, kind of absorb the sound and dissipate the heat. So I think we'll do something there too. So let me know down in the comments if you want to see more WR450 content. I think I only did 2 videos on this thing, and I love this machine. And once I get rid of the DRZ400, maybe we'll take some of the proceeds and dump into this. So I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 5,000. I'm so close. I appreciate all you guys watching the videos. Be sure to like and go down in the comments and tell me what you think about this and the DRZ400. Okay, I'm shutting up now. See you in the next video.
Real Jesse Peterson finds in the rough dirt.